Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your bonus reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here is the Star card. This is a wonderful way to begin. This is a card about really being in tune with that divine light, with that cosmic light, you know. I think you're somebody with a very deep intuition, you know. I think through your life, people have always sort of wondered how you've known things, like you're able to just kind of, I don't know, almost foresee what's going to happen in the next few moments. You know, it's just, you get a feeling perhaps, or it's an image, or it's a light that gives you a kind of certainty that we couldn't get otherwise, just through our reasoning or through our senses. You know, it's like it's a deeper, intuitive kind of feeling. I think you have a strong spiritual practice. You may not consider yourself very religious, even or spiritual, but I think you have a deep connection with certain rituals and certain routines that keep you in touch, not only with yourself, but with the kind of cosmic energy. Yeah. I feel that you've done a lot of work already on your personal karma. Okay? Because the Star card does two things, right? First thing it does is, if we allow it anyway, the light will come in, and the light of awareness, the cosmic light, divine light, whatever you want to call it, it will illuminate our interior. It'll show us where our buttons are, where our knots of karma are, so that we can sort of recognize them and sort of start untangling those knots a little bit. And while we do that, phase 2 kicks in, and that light starts to shine out to the rest of the world. Yeah. In other words, we become a sort of a beacon or an example for others. But that light also shows us where our path is. It's like the ground in front of us just sort of lights up, and we can follow the path, you know. So it shows us interior, shows us exterior, those things that we need to engage with. So let's see in your reading today whether we're going interior or exterior, okay? We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. This is a very magical card. It is through the work of the Star card that we become the magician, okay? That's the function of the Star card, is for us to begin that process, allowing both phase 1 and phase 2. The deeper and deeper we go in both of those phases, the more we become a clear channel, a pure conduit of that divine energy. And that is exactly the magician card, able to exactly transmit that light without any sort of interruptions coming from inside, you know, with as few blockages as possible. Yeah. So let's put the rest of our cards out. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, we've got an Eon card, a doorway. Wow. A 4 of Wands, an 8 of Wands, a 5 of Wands. Holy smokes, that's a lot of fire. You're surrounded by this divine fire right now. With a Star card in the middle, the Eon card is fire. All of these other fire cards, you are in a protective circle of fire right now. I believe that this is showing some external changes in your life, okay? I think that especially with this 4 of Wands underneath, I think that you are coming off of a cycle of, you know, let's say phase 1 of the Star energy. I think that you've done a lot of interior work. I think that you haven't untangled all of your knots of karma, but some of them, okay? It's impossible to untangle all of them. for all practical purposes. So I think that you have been focusing on the interior untangling of those knots of karma, investigating those buttons and those weak points, those blockages. And I think now something really, really intense is happening in your external life. Okay, phase 2 of the Star card is activating, and I think something in your world is being lit up. A doorway is appearing, and that's what our Eon card is. It's a doorway. It's a divine doorway of fire that is, wow, I mean, it's a lot. It's intense. There's a lot of fire here. Okay, in some sense, it's telling you that you can really go in any direction, but we look in the various directions, and we can see that the only really positive way forward is to the Two of Wands. This is strife. This is something that's going to happen quickly for you, but it'll be over quickly. And this, of course, is going back inside and continuing to work on that interior karma. If you're not ready for this to go through this doorway, well, then it makes sense maybe to just go back inside and continue doing this interior work. But I feel as if you're ready to push through this doorway, and I feel like it's going to be a life-changing experience. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Let's put the rest of our cards down on the table here. The Hierophant, the Chariot, the 10 of Cups, and the 6 of Swords. Definitely a plan is needed. Definitely cooperation with others is going to be a big part of this. I feel like your guides have been screaming at you, right? The Hierophant here as your general energy, I feel like you are absolutely in this sort of, you're just in this magical, holy frame of mind. And I think that you're absolutely ready for what's coming next. It may involve some kind of a teaching role or giving instruction to others or sharing wisdom with others. I think what's coming in your future is a lot of travel. Got the Chariot card here in the environment, right? A good place for the Chariot card to be, right? In the position of your environment and of your relationships. It seems like you're going places. Okay, I feel a connection with Southern California, Bakersfield area, maybe even further south, San Diego. I don't know what's there for you, but there's some magical connection to Southern California for you. Maybe that's where, I don't know if that's where you're traveling from, or if you've been there and you sort of got out of there, right? Something along those lines. Also, someone in, I don't know, maybe someone really likes to wear the silly hats. Who likes to wear the silly hats there? It's a fun, there's seriousness here, but I feel there's a lot of playfulness in your life too. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown. We're going to set it down right here with Bubo, our mechanical owl. Now we're not going to look at that card until the end, but it will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's take a look around because we see some interesting major arcana. We see the Star showing you the path to the doorway, illuminating the doorway. It's a big spotlight now on that door, and it does require a decision on your part. So you have to, you'll have to do something. You'll have to take the leap here. We have, of course, the Hierophant and the Chariot card on the path of the Serpent, and I feel as if you're in a good place to make this big move. Okay, I think that it maybe is literally traveling, but I feel like I feel like you're packing up the car and you're saying, okay, I'm ready now, I'm going to go. You're confident in your skills and your abilities. You're confident that you have the wisdom because of the interior cycle that you were on, that I think is coming to a conclusion. It's kind of like we've had this, and maybe it's almost been like a hermit mode for a little bit. The hermit has done that interior work and is now ready to showcase something, ready to hit the road, ready to demonstrate or to teach or to share who you are with the world. Okay? I don't feel that it's all that performative. I don't know that it's music or stand-up comedy or something like that. I feel like it's more you getting out there and sharing your experience with the world, sharing your wisdom and experience is what I'm hearing. Yeah, that you might be teaching, you might be healing, you might be teaching others to heal, right? Those sorts of things. I think the healing aspect is a very important thing for you. I don't know that it's necessarily physical health. I feel like if anything, it's going to be a spiritual healing energy kind of work, crystal healing, Reiki, maybe some acupuncture, it could be. But I feel like it's going to have effects mainly on the energetic body, this fire energy, right? But I think it's also something that you can establish in terms of mental and emotional health too. Okay, so we've got a lot of very good major arcana energies. Then really it's a lot of fire, and a heart and a mind, right? And water and air. And the swords represent the thoughts, and the cups represent the feelings, right? And of course, we have all of this willpower. It's like we're needing to pick a direction here. Okay, there's a need for you to make a decision, because Spirit is lighting up all of these things in the exterior world for you. You've got to see the door and which door is right for you. The choice before you right now will have a profound impact on your life. Okay. Spirit saying, check the batteries in the smoke detector. That's the beeping sound that we're hearing? That every few seconds, it's just, when you sort of go to somebody's house and you hear that their smoke detector sort of beeping, it happens like every 30 seconds or something. To me, whenever that happens, I always think this is an interesting person, that they're living in a house when that beeping is just going off and they haven't figured it out yet. So make sure you change those batteries. Yeah. The Four of Wands underneath everything, of course, is this karmic cycle that you are concluding. You're wrapping up something that was very heavy, very serious interior work. This is the card of conclusions. This is the card that says we've gone inside into this sort of introspective, sort of magical, psychological, spiritual work. And the work is never done. They were never completely done with that work, but it happens in cycles and phases for you. And I think right now you're coming out of this cycle and you're ready to get to the next step in your life. It's kind of like we take these periodic magical retirements. We go inside, we figure some stuff out, not everything, but some stuff. And then we're ready to go forth. And I feel that this is now you ready to go forth. I think that you've had a realization that you want your life to look a certain way. Sometimes I see this card and I think of the Venus in Aries aspect, and I think this is somebody that really is trying to redecorate their life. This is somebody who wants their own artwork on the wall. This is somebody that wants to pick the colors of things, that doesn't just want to live or work or exist in a world that somebody else has decorated, essentially, right? You want your own colors and you want your own vibe. You want to be responsible for your own feng shui, And I think this is really important. I think that in whatever personal space you have, whether it's your whole house, your whole life, your car, a room, a bathroom, a closet, doesn't matter. Decorate it the way you want. Put up pictures that empower you, right? Whatever spiritual symbols really work for you, put those on the wall, right? Whether you draw them yourself or you go find them at a store somewhere, surround yourself with images, colors, shapes, symbols that really empower you, okay, that really motivate you, that help you to cultivate this feeling of holiness and connectedness. Because again, with that star card, I feel like that's a very important thing for you, is to feel that. And I think that you're a visual person. So I think that a lot of that spiritual activation comes through the sights and sounds and things that are around you, particularly the visual part of it. So the images, the colors, like in my studio here, I have some plants, I have a lot of the Egyptian imagery because that's what speaks to me. And we try to surround ourselves with those sorts of images that if my eyes were to fall over here, well, then I have Thoth over here on the wall. And every time I look past the camera, I see Thoth there on my wall. My wife got me this really pretty papyrus painting of Thoth that I have. I should show you guys. It's directly in front of me. So if I'm ever staring off into the distance, I'm looking at Thoth, you know. And we surround ourselves with those kinds of images, and they really empower us. They sort of, it's spiritual mnemonics. You know, we set up our life in such a way that everywhere my eye might fall, I will see something that will remind me of the path that I'm on, that will encourage me and instill a sense of responsibility, a sense of holiness, a sense of power, all these things. And that's, to me, Venus in Aries. Intentionally setting up our environment in a way that's going to stimulate us how we want to be stimulated. You know what I'm saying? Okay. The Eight of Wands in the background here is kind of one option, and we can go backwards, but we don't want to go backwards, right? I mean, sometimes we get an impulse to sort of return to different times. I was going to say better days, but they may not have been better. They were, I think, a lot more fast-paced. But I think that this was something that you had done in the past that it sort of came upon you quickly and it fizzled out quickly. It may have been a relationship. It may have been some kind of a family situation. It feels like this maybe was, it could have been a great adventure, but it kind of, maybe it was disorganized. Maybe there was some conflict between people. Maybe there were different, very strong personalities involved that kind of all wanted to pull in different directions. So this is something that you got involved with that didn't really last for a long time. It may have been very intense in the moment, but then it kind of fizzled out quickly too. It's like a fire. To me, this card, I mean, it looks like a firework, right? Whereas just a sudden explosion in the sky, bright colors and lights, and that really cool sound that fireworks make, and it's really pretty, and we're staring at it, and then it just sort of, it falls, the embers cool, and it's gone. You know, fireworks don't last very long. But they're the most dazzling thing, right? I remember as a kid, and all the different holidays, you know, the fireworks would happen, and it was just, I would love to just lay there on the grass and watch the fireworks, you know. Every 4th of July, we would drive in my hometown. There's these little hills, sort of the town, it's Milpitas, California, nestled in this little valley. And there's a lot of, these hills to the east. And we would drive up a little ways, and we would just park, and we'd look out over the bay. And, we'd watch these fireworks, and it was just, it's an awe-inspiring thing, but it happens quickly, you know. It's over as soon as it begins. And I think this might have been something like that for you, where it was a very intense experience, but it happened very quickly, and it was over very quickly. And I think this was kind of the last, let's say, external cycle that you were on. Now, we can't go back to that. I think you're looking for something that's a little bit more long-term. With the 10 of Cups there in that position, I feel like that's really what that's what the intention is, to find something that's lasting, something that will be around for a long time, something that can sustain you indefinitely. Okay, so we're not looking for just a very intense temporary job. We're looking for a career. We're not looking for just a fling or an affair. We're looking for a long-term relationship. We're not just looking for temporary housing. We're looking for a home to put down roots in. Okay. The five of Wands at the top here. This is the primary thing I think that's sort of on your mind right now, and this is the card of strife, the card of fighting. And I feel like you have a lot of fight in you. You're ready to fight. You've got the gloves on. You're just looking for the right thing to get involved with. Okay, this is usually a card about kind of knowing how to turn up the heat or knowing how to turn it down. This is a very nice Saturn in Leo energy. So this is us, trying to be humble, but trying to also be proud and capable, knowing that we can handle the challenges in our lives. You're somebody who is, I think, both of those things. You're very proud. You're also very humble. You know how to use the knob on the stove, how to turn up the heat and how to turn it down. So you're looking for the kind of right effort to put into something that's really going to make a lasting change in your life. I think that you're always ready to do new things. I think that you love a good puzzle or a good challenge. But we want to make sure that we're applying that to something that is meaningful and lasting and worthwhile and really offers us a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. No more wasted efforts, right? I feel like I don't care how old you are. You could be you could be a teenager. You could be in your 120s. We're not getting any younger, So our ability to put effort into things that don't matter is diminishing. Every day that goes by, we realize we have to be a little bit more selective in where we're putting our fight and what we're willing to fight for. I think there are people in your life that want to just argue, and you're trying to turn down those relationships. You're trying to turn down that energy and withdraw some of your fight from them. I don't know who could possibly be fighting with you. They may be a Cancer person, maybe somebody in your home, maybe family members, that they just seem to like to engage in that kind of thing, and you're not feeling it these days, In the future position, we have that Two of Wands. I think that's what you're going toward. I think that you are, you're trying to be more body conscious, right? You're trying to be more in tune with the physical world. And I think that goes with the environment and having, the Venus and Aries energy. But I think also getting in touch with our own physicality. Having a body awareness, getting in tune with the physical, and understanding what the physical body is really all about and what its energies are and what it's capable of doing and what messages it's sending to you, right? Because the odd thing about the reading here is that there are not a lot of earth cards. In fact, there are none, but maybe we could say the fours are a little bit earthy because of the number 4 and the 4 elements, the 4 winds, the 4 directions, that sort of thing. And also the Hierophant, with its connection to Taurus, is a little bit of earth energy. But otherwise, there's no pentacles here. So I think that we're trying to get in touch with how we feel physically. And especially with that 5 of Wands and the 2 of Wands too, that we have all of this fight in us. We have all of this vital energy. And we're trying to obviously channel it through our physical bodies, right? Because that's kind of how we interact with the world. That's what we need. That's our vehicle, essentially, right? And we could even look at our chariot here as our physical body. And we can only push our physical bodies so far. We have to be able to listen and get the feedback from our physical body. You do certain things, do you just ignore the pain and push through and keep going as hard as you can? As my voice starts to kind of take a turn for the worse. Or do you listen and feel what your body is telling you and say, okay, well, I guess I can't do that move anymore. I can't lift those weights in the same way anymore because I'm feeling the pains, The 2 of Wands is also about control of your environment. Okay, I think that you're someone who's ready to take your life in your own hands. Yeah. So whatever is forward, whatever is in the future for you, Spirit is showing you a decision, a doorway that you can walk through where you take your life in your own hands, you take responsibility for your life. You take your future and your success. I feel like this is maybe you starting a business. This is you starting to pursue that work that what I kind of felt at the beginning may be some kind of healing work. But whatever it is, the teaching, the sharing, starting to pursue something along those lines. Whether you're going to write a book or make an album, whether you're going to do a YouTube channel, whether you're going to start a practice of energy healing or of, I don't know, of sharing your wisdom with the world in some way. This is kind of saying that you're trying to work for yourself rather than for somebody else. Okay? And I think that might be the decision that we have to make if we're going to pursue that. Now, it doesn't mean you have to quit your job. It doesn't mean you have to move away. But it does mean that you have to start doing things in this direction, pushing through and creating the environment that you really wish for, which we started to talk about here. With the Four of Wands, we had this, the recognition of the need to create our environment in a certain way. And here, I think, with the Mars in Aries, big Aries connection for you today, by the way. I think with the Mars and Aries connection, this is really you going through this doorway and making the decision that says, you know what, I'm taking charge of my life. I want to create my space in a certain way. Maybe this is literally about the physical environment. Really, literally saying, I need to change the way my life looks. Changing the way we dress, changing the way our bedroom looks, our bathroom, our kitchen. Getting the energy flowing a little bit better, putting the right kind of colors and images around us that make us feel the way we want to feel, right? And if this means we got to go out and spend a little bit of money on ourselves, okay, so be it, right? Because I think your home is your sanctuary. And of course, we have the Cancer connection with the Chariot, which I think is really showing that environment is very important to you. That you having a sense of home, having a home base is very important to you. This could be the idea, too, that you're ready to start working from home. Okay? Ready to start working from home. Now, we're going to talk about the path of the serpent here. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It's totally free. So please smash the like button and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I appreciate that. So the Hierophant is the general energy. I think that you are you're somebody who is able to teach and share wisdom. You've achieved a certain degree, a certain depth of understanding of life. You're also somebody who's open to learning, open to consulting with other people to figure out the right way to do this. You don't pretend as if you know everything. You still got to read a book. You still got to call somebody. You still got to have one of those free consultations with some expert to kind of get a handle on what you want to do and how to do it. The worst thing is for somebody who wants to start a business, I actually have been sort of fantasizing or dreaming about opening a little bookstore with a little attached cafe, right? Really because my daughter, she's 4. She's in this phase now where she'll get a stack of books and she'll just pretend that she's writing all the books. She's like, authoring is such hard work. And I said, well, maybe we should open up a bookstore, And she says, yeah, let's do it. And I don't know anything about it. So, it would be foolish for me to just try to rent a building and put some books in there and just wait for the customers to come, There's a lot more to it, I imagine. I don't know anything about it. So it would be foolish to just try to wing it. Yeah. And I think that really is, in some ways, the difference between the 5 and the 2. The 2 is trying to be very very intentional about things, and sometimes the 2 can say, well, I'm just going to push through and do it my way no matter what. The 5 might be consciously, we sort of know that, yeah, I've got to be able to adjust the efforts. I've got to be able to rein in this intense, passionate desire that I just want to bust through the wall on my own, and I don't need to find a better way to do it, So the Hierophant, I think, is your ability then to research, figure out, talk to people, and get a good handle. You have to do your homework to figure out how to accomplish this goal, if it is something about a business or about renovating or restructuring your physical environment. Maybe quite literally. Maybe this is, you know what, I don't like living in the city. I want to find a way to get to living in the country. I think we all have to take an honest assessment of where we are in life, both physically and literally and sort of metaphorically, and where we would prefer to be. And let's figure out how to get on that path. It's not going to be an overnight thing. But we have to be able to make the decision to say, okay, I'm coming out of this period of introspection and this karmic work. I know what I want. I know that it's important to me to have the right environment. I'm ready to walk through this doorway and start the process. It doesn't mean it happens overnight. It means that we're now on that path. We've made the decision. We're committed to it. And maybe the first phase is to just absorb information, to talk to people about how to, what is a good way to go about doing this. Maybe we need a step-by-step plan. Well, we see that at the end with our Six of Swords here. And the Chariot, as we talked about, is a lot of sort of a safety, a security, a stability of the environment. It's the idea that we all have a home and we're all looking for a stable and safe home base. Okay? And I think maybe this is sort of a path toward like working from home or having your own kind of, I don't know, I feel like having your own compound really, right? Having your own stuff right here in a very good spot. And maybe it's just finding the particular town that you want to settle down in and build your empire, Reference there to, of course, that Emperor card, the Aries energy, which is so prominent. I think you should watch the Aries reading, too. But this is kind of maybe an idea that we have to go look around at different places. If you can take a trip somewhere or even just research it online or look at it on YouTube or something to figure out where you want to go. Where do you want your life to be located? Where is your home base going to be? Because not only do we need to know how we're going to decorate it on the inside, right? We got to know where it's located on the outside. And are you going to work from home? Is that where the business is going to be? It's so if I'm doing the bookstore with my daughter and my wife, I've got to find the location. What town? I mean, one thing, the inside, the interior decorations and so that's something else. But where are we going to have it? What's the right town? What's the right, maybe in the town we're in now, we could just put a bookstore here somewhere. So we have to sort of scout around for those locations, and we have to say, okay, well, this is our home base for our lives. And it's this little town, and that's your house is there, your business is there, your school, your family, you build it up. And you build it up according to your will and your intention. We don't see many cards here of just letting things happen. Okay. And I think it really is because we had this flash of energy in the past, and this is a very temporary flash. Maybe it gave you a little glimpse of what is possible. And now we want to establish something long-term, something real, something with definite roots. Okay. And I think that opportunity is coming your way. The Ten of Cups is the difficult position. This is the obstacle for us. And that really is to I think, understand that we don't reach this level of fulfillment and satisfaction overnight. And so the difficult thing is to start from the bottom. Start from 1 cup, and then 2, and then 3, until we get all the way to 10. And we realize that we have to build our lives up in this slow and steady way because we want it to be lasting. I'm kind of thinking an 8 of Pentacles for our mystery card. It doesn't happen all at once, so we're going to spend the majority of our time with less than 10 cups, you see, because we're on the path toward building and growing this perfect life. And we have to be okay with that. There's going to be something missing always. Well, that's okay, because that tells us what the next step is going to be. you know. And so in terms of our emotional energy, we want the 10 of Cups. We know that it's a process to fill all of them up. And we're prepared for that because it's going to be, some days are going to be a little bit less water, some days we're going to make a lot of progress. We keep the goal written in our heart, you know. The ultimate goal, not the small step-by-step goals or landmarks, but the bigger picture. Keep that written in your heart. And, and I think that it's going to help you to stay focused. The Six of Swords is that focus. Okay, it is a strategic mind. It is, I think it's understanding how to have this, but long term. How to have this, but more permanent. This flash of, I don't know, whatever this was. This flash of greatness or of awe, splendor. This is about now figuring out how to take this, but create a sort of plan to have that all the time, you know? Something long-term, something that has longevity. This is the card of an organized and thoughtful mind. I think you need to start formulating the plan. We're going through the doorway. We're committing to it. We're ready to learn. We're ready to dream. We're ready to sort of scout around and do the legwork and do our homework. And I think the plan will slowly come together. Yeah. And I think that you are entering this phase of intense activity. Be sure you don't engage in any unnecessary entanglements because you're going to need all the energy that you can gather. Okay, and let's not forget that we're surrounded by fire. Okay, and I think that is really a fire of will, a fire of ambition, a fire of intensity. Let's not waste it on anything that isn't deserving of our very best, vital, fiery, creative energy. Okay, we have to try to maintain a very ordered and harmonious mind. We have to, out of all the chaos, we have to formulate a plan to move forward. Let's look at this mystery card. I was thinking an 8 of Pentacles, maybe. The slow and steady growth of something, right? So that it can be strong, good roots, you know. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Let's see what we have. Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is your love for this path, fueling your mind in such a way that you are maintaining clarity. Okay, this is a card of rising above the drama. Now, I think there are people in your life that are drama. I think this is you rising above that and staying focused on what your life is going to be and what you are creating for yourself. Okay, and I think that this is going to really improve the quality of your relationships because your energy is going to be wasted on drama. Okay, this is kind of a rising above the drama card. It's a card of clarity. It's a card that says that you know what you want in your heart. And that's what you're staying focused on. You can see that energy very clearly. The rest of it is just noise. Yeah. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius Wednesday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Excuse me. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.